Hey there, everyone. Happy first day of spring, people. And I normally wouldn't do this on a Saturday night, but hey, we had no choice. We had no choice despite everything that's happening today. So I figured I'd review the NFL free agency so far. And guess what? We also break down what happened today. I mean, seriously, it was one bit crazy day. I can guarantee you that. Isaiah Wilson screwed up today. Kenny Golladay got signed to the Giants. Man, it was one hell of a crazy day. Oh, wait, there's also Kyle Fuller, who Stephen Lowry, welcome. Yeah. And we're also going to talk about the Deshawn Watson thing. And it's crazy. And there's even a rumor going around. Let's start off with the Deshaun Watson thing first. For starters, let's start off with Deshaun Watson. Darius Howell, welcome. Here's the thing about Deshaun Watson, people. He asked to be traded, gets denied. I'm doing fine. Yeah, Deshaun Watson, he gets denied of a trade. Now he's prepared, and now gets charged for sexual abuse, I think. I don't even know what the heck is going on here. I mean, seriously. That is not what I call a quarterback of the future. But then again, he probably did not. This was probably a misunderstanding. I think Deshaun Watson, he has to clear all this up fast because I mean, sure, he might not have meant to do what any of the things he said, but he did want out of Houston, and this could have been the perfect excuse. But no. Even Deshaun Watson wouldn't sink that low. No siree, because he knows no team would be interested in a guy like that. Sure, Adrian Peterson got off easy after slapping his kid, but still. And here comes the latest rumor. If Deshaun Watson is tradable, Philadelphia Eagles are throwing their names into his hat and be willing to trade for him. Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles are one of those teams that are interested in Deshaun Watson now, should Deshaun Watson get tradable. I mean, seriously, I did not expect Philadelphia Eagles to get in this sweepstakes. I mean, seriously, a sweepstakes that might not even exist. Yeah, who would have thought Philadelphia Eagles get involved in a sweepstakes that might not even exist? That's kind of crazy. Oh, I didn't know the Eagles were interested in Deshaun Watson. Yes, Darius Howell. Yes, they are. At least it's rumored. This is just a rumor, but still. But if it turns out to be good and Deshaun Watson's is tradable, guess who's on the phone? Fly, Eagles, fly. Richard, welcome. showing our support to the Tennessee Titans. Oh yeah, speaking of Tennessee, both Tennessee and Miami had a rough day today with the Isaiah Wilson being released. I mean, seriously. Isaiah Wilson, what the heck is wrong with you? He's a guy that messes up a lot. We traded Isaiah Wilson and exchanged 7th round draft picks. But here's the thing. we get Miami's pick this year, and they get our next year's 7th-round draft pick. That's the crazy part. I don't even know if I say your last name right. Gosenfrote? I mean, seriously. But still. I may be a Tennessee Titans fan, but I disagree with this trade now. I mean, seriously. Basically, us Tennessee Titans fans barely may have screwed over Miami Dolphins. Sure, we exchanged 7th-round draft picks, but Miami Dolphins were the one that paid the price. They had to give up over $4 million in cap space to release him. A cap space that should have been ours. I mean, seriously. A cap space that should have been the Titans. That is kind of sad, though. Miami Dolphins paying money for a guy we traded. I mean, seriously. It is quite sad. It was such a sad day for all the Dolphins fans, mostly because they were the ones that cut Isaiah Wilson and lost over $4 million in the process. This was more of a loss to the Dolphins. Sure, we exchanged 7th-round draft picks, so we should be even. But who had to pay the money to cut Isaiah Wilson? The Dolphins. How did you feel the Titans signed Janoris Jenkins? Darius Howell. To tell the truth, I saw this coming. There were 2 Tennessee Titans signings I saw coming, and this one was it. The other one was Bud Dupree. Yeah, I saw Bud Dupree and Janoris Jenkins coming. And if this next guy gets signed by the Titans, which I predicted, by the way, I would officially be branded a psychic this year. I mean, seriously, branded a psychic. That's right. It is T.Y. Hilton. They're in the running for T.Y. Hilton, but they got Indianapolis and Green Bay in the running. Of course, T.Y. Hilton's not the only wide receiver Tennessee Titans are looking at. They're also looking into Danny Amendola, but New England Patriots might want him back, and there are 2 other teams that are interested in Amendola. Dallas Cowboys, which could lead to a Michael Gallup release, and San Francisco 49ers, who stole Kendrick Bourne from them. Yeah, that's basically Tennessee Titans wide receiver situation at the moment. Because Juju stays in Pittsburgh, Kenny Golladay goes to New York to play for the Giants. All the big-name receivers were already taken from the start. I mean, seriously, that is crazy. That was kind of crazy, to tell the truth. And the big name who's the number 1 free agent left? Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, a free agent that can't be signed until April, when he is 100% healthy. Clowney is the number 1 free agent to look at now. I mean, seriously. Clowney is ranked at number 1 now. Clowney, boo, he's trash. I don't control the board, Richard. I don't control the board. Clowney did nothing for us last year, but he did a lot for Houston and Seattle, in case you've forgotten. Speaking of which, let's move on to New York Giants, the team that really made today interesting. I mean, seriously, the Giants, are they in the position to win the NFC East for multiple years? I think so, because the Giants gave Daniel Jones all the weapons he needs. I mean, seriously. Should the Titans re-sign Clowney? Darius, I have a few other options besides Clowney, and if they all go, then I say yes. And right now, I can't even tell you guys who they are. I mean, seriously. Now we're worried. Oh yeah, the New York Giants. They gave Daniel Jones the wide receivers after bringing in Kenny Golladay. Holy crap. Yeah, Kenny Golladay really was the talk today. Combine him with Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and the wide receiver they picked up a few days ago when they re-signed Leonard Williams. John Ross III. John Ross III, people, from the Bengals. That's who they also signed. Holy crap. And in tight end position, they still got Evan Ingram, but they also brought in Kyle Rudolph as well from the Vikings. Yikes. And then there's Saquon Barkley, who was injured last year, and he's ready to come back. Does that make the New York Giants offense playoff material? I mean, seriously. If they were 100%, would they be playoff material? Because something tells me that offense is ready to go. All they need is to get the defense up and running. And on Monday, they have a meeting with former Tennessee Titans cornerback Adoree Jackson. Of course, they're not the only one. Philadelphia Eagles also have a meeting with Adoree Jackson as well. The Giants are good, but their QB is trash. Maybe so. Giants are looking good. They should draft a receiver in round 1 to add to the team. They already got enough receivers already. Didn't you just hear what I said? Golladay, Shepard, Slayton, and Ross. I mean, seriously. The New York Giants, they could be in the running to win the NFC East this year, despite all the crap they're getting. I think I could see a competition between Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants or Washington football team. Chargers, best team in the NFL anyway. Not if you lose Melvin Ingram. And right now, in the upcoming days, guess where Melvin Ingram is visiting? Your division foes, the Kansas City Chiefs. Yep, the Chiefs are looking into Melvin Ingram. So you might want to prepare yourself for the upcoming days. And pray that Melvin Ingram doesn't sign with the Chiefs. Only if he's not on the right team. But Justin Herbert isn't better than Joe Burrow. At least Joe Burrow is getting some extra protection. They already signed Riley Reeve, I think. Should the Titans sign Melvin Ingram? If they abandon the idea of getting any wide receivers in free agency, then yes. Because he could help out Bud Dupree. He can have. I mean, seriously, he could turn this whole. I mean, seriously, if Melvin Ingram and Bud Dupree work together, that could be a dangerous combo for this defense. But hey, it is not going to happen. But something tells me it's not going to happen. Something tells me it's not going to happen. I think they already signed enough on one day. They got to the Tennessee Titans have to focus on wide receivers. They have to also focus on the cornerback situation, even though they just signed Janoris Jenkins and then signed that Kevin Johnson guy. I mean, if you think about Tennessee Titans signings all year, all the signings came from playoff teams. And besides Janoris Jenkins, most of these guys came from the AFC. Yeah, Janoris Jenkins is the only NFC signing Tennessee Titans made. And it was quite a shocker. Should the Saints sign Richard Sherman? If they have the money, Darius, if they have the money. I mean, seriously, you need the money to pull off the big guys. And the Saints do have the money. Yeah, but do they have the players? Do they have the players? That's the question. Because they already released lots of their guys just to get the cap space they needed. I mean, seriously. Though the AFC team to look at is the New England Patriots because they already signed a lot of guys onto the team. And Bill Belichick has proven he doesn't need Tom Brady to get the big name guys like, say, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, Matt Judon. All these guys. I mean, seriously. Bill Belichick has proven that he doesn't need Tom Brady to pull off these big names. I mean, seriously. This is an AFC team to look at, people. Because even though Chung retired and Marcus Johnson got traded to Houston, who do they have left? Hightower. They still have Hightower. That is what I call that is the makings of an NFL team that is ready to get back into the frame after a long time, after a year's slumber. And the Denver Broncos, they shocked that the Patriots have a good team. You better believe it. Though they do have the exact same predicament as New York Giants are right now. Rich Toucher, what's up? We're just going through what happened the past few days and what happened today. I mean, seriously. And I'm pretty certain Kyle Fuller, we all knew we all predicted he was going to go to Denver. But today, of all days, when he was when he was officially released, that was quite a shocker. That was quick. Kyle Fuller was like the Roadrunner. Meet me. Glad you're here too, Rich. I mean, seriously, Kyle Fuller was like the Roadrunner and just ran from Chicago to Denver. Meet me. Yeah, that was pretty quick. He thought about this signing for a long time, and he predicted he chose the right team. I mean, seriously, this is kind of crazy. We did not see this signing coming. At least not this fast. Should the Saints release more players? Are the New Orleans Saints targeting someone big besides Richard Sherman? That is the real question you have to ask. Because that's a tough question to look at right now. Because if they release any more guys, then they're probably in the I don't even know what the heck is going on. Yeah, I think, well, you might have to take a look at what the Saints have left before jumping into that question. I think Patriots are playoff contenders. I think so too, especially after all the signings they made. Cam Newton sucks though. Yeah, that's the one thing New England Patriots and New York Giants now have. They sign all these big names onto their field, but they have crummy quarterbacks that can guide them all the way there. And now comes the big question. Who has the higher chance of making the playoffs with the quarterbacks they do right now and made all these big signings? The New England Patriots or the New York Giants? If it came down to those two, which one has the higher chance of making the playoffs? Jameis Winston could have a bounce back year in New Orleans. Well, I did hear the Saints were interested in Richard Sherman. Yeah, you better believe it. But there are other teams interested in Richard Sherman as well. Like, say, the Raiders, Bills, anyone that needs a cornerback. Giants, NFC is terrible. Well, I wouldn't say terrible, but you're right about one thing. Philadelphia Eagles, they're in a QB crisis thanks to that Carson Wentz trade. Dallas Cowboys, I don't know. I don't think I call Dallas Cowboys terrible, but if they do by some chance get themselves in a wide receiver predicament, if they somehow get Danny Amendola, then yeah, they're gonna have problems. But Washington football team is going to be difficult with Taylor Heineke versus Ryan Fitzpatrick for the starting QB gig. I mean, seriously, Taylor Heineke versus Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's crazy. And that is quite, and this week has become crazy. Though Houston Texans were a shocking surprise. I did not expect Houston Texans to make a lot of signings, but they really shocked us. And now here comes the problem with the Houston Texans, though. I may be a Tennessee Titans fan, but I'm looking at the running back predicament right now. I mean, seriously, if you look back, Houston Texans a few days or weeks ago apparently signed Mark Ingram onto the team. The Texans have good running backs. But 3 running backs comes with the price. They have Mark Ingram, who David Culley worked with on the Baltimore Ravens, even though Culley was the wide receiver coach at the time. They all and then yesterday, I think, they signed Philip Lindsay, Pro Bowl running back for the Denver Broncos. And what does that leave David Johnson now? I mean, seriously, what does that leave David Johnson? They traded for David Johnson last year, which that trade makes no sense, by the way. They traded for David Johnson by getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, seriously. David Robinson is okay. It's David Johnson. I don't even know what the heck is going on here. I mean, seriously. I'm sure some of you are saying David Culley's used to having 3 running backs, but not like this. Not like this. Because David Johnson is an instant starter. Philip Lindsay is a Pro Bowl running back, and Mark Ingram is a David Culley choice. This is obviously bad. This was obviously very bad. David Johnson is ineffective. Yeah, I think expect David Johnson to be gone soon, because apparently because this signing with Philip Lindsay is a wake-up call that David Johnson should be gone by now. I mean, seriously. After signing Mark Ingram and Philip Lindsay, comment down below. Do you think David Johnson's time with the Houston Texans is up? I mean, seriously. The fact that they got Philip Lindsay proves that David Johnson is obvious. Trading for David Johnson was the wrong call. I mean, seriously. Trading for David Johnson was obviously the wrong call, and the Texans should trade Watson for a bunch of first-round picks and start a rebuild. They could get 4 firsts and a couple of seconds, and the franchise is a mess. Rich, you're good. That one was good, but I don't think that's reality. David Johnson should leave. Darius, I think so too. I think David Johnson should at least consider about heading to an AFC East team. If he gets released by the Houston Texans, I think I can see him in any AFC East team. Buffalo, Miami, New England, even the New York Jets. I could see him on an AFC East team. Because they're all in need of a running back, people. They are all in need of a running back. So yeah, I think the AFC East is a perfect division for David Johnson, because all 4 of them do need running backs. I hope the Texans release David Johnson. I hope so too, for David Johnson's sake. Because I'm pretty sure Mark Ingram and Philip Lindsay are going to steal the spotlight away from him. And if any of you use David Johnson on your fantasy rosters, you're going to get screwed. It's quite sad how free agency has fallen to. I mean, seriously. What a mess. What a mess. That is what I call a very sad predicament. Especially since Juju Smith-Schuster decided to stay in Houston, the Saints have to make some draft picks. Yeah, you're right about that. Speaking of draft picks, the order has been revealed. The order in the NFL draft has been revealed, and right now Seattle Seahawks has the least amount of draft picks. 3 of them to be precise. Tied for the most NFL draft picks is 11, and there are 2 teams who tied for that. Minnesota Vikings and Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, Vikings and Eagles have the most draft picks this year. And since Seattle has the least amount of draft picks, you think they should have done more. I mean, seriously, in free agency. The team with the least amount of draft picks should have done more. Yeah. Dan Gleesick, what's up? And welcome to the chat. And welcome, man. Right now, we're just reviewing the NFL free agency so far, and then should the 49ers give away Jimmy Garoppolo to a team that's in need of a quarterback? Yes. I mean, seriously. They need a somebody needs a quarterback. Maybe he could go back to New England. Maybe he could go back to New England. I mean, seriously. This is a guy that could go back to New England. He was originally supposed to take over for Tom Brady, but then, of course, sayonara, Jimmy Garoppolo before Tom Brady was re-signed, was adios. I mean, seriously. Hard to believe what things have turned out with. I mean, seriously. Everything has gone straight to cap space hell in this year's free agency. But still, the teams with a high amount of cap space are probably lucky right now because they're in control of their own destinies. But for a select lucky few, they were lucky enough to build a stronger team. But as a Tennessee Titans fan, I predicted Bud Dupree and Janoris Jenkins to join the team, and I got them right. But there were a few surprises that surprised me. Danico Audrey, Kendall Lamb. Should the Buccaneers re-sign Antonio Brown? Yikes. Speaking of Antonio Brown, before I answer that question, I want to get the word out about Antonio Brown. Seattle Seahawks fans, keep your eyes open. Russell Wilson is planning is working on a way to get Antonio Brown to the team. But as for you, it's a tough call to say Antonio Brown. I don't know if Antonio Brown should come back to the NFL, but if he does go somewhere, I think he should finish up his career with Tampa Bay because he and Tom Brady are in perfect sync, and there's less pressure on him. But if he does just, But if he decides to go somewhere else, I think the next team in line is Seattle. Because Russell Wilson is working on a campaign to get Antonio Brown to Seattle. Yeah. Antonio Brown is working on a way. Right now, Russell Wilson is working on a way to get Antonio Brown to Seattle, even though he's gone through a lot of crazy stuff himself. I mean, seriously, the guy was projected to be has listed 4 teams to be traded to, but Cowboys, they already have Dak Prescott. Saints, I think Jameis Winston's it. Chicago, Andy Dalton is it. So that leaves Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, seriously, we don't know if Las Vegas Raiders are even interested in it in Russell Wilson. Or they would have made their moves right now. Or is it that Seattle shut them away? I mean, seriously. And after all that hard work, Von Miller never got a chance to leave. Nope, Von Miller, he got to stay in Denver, and they're paying him $18.5 million this year. The Broncos, what the heck is going on with you? You could have gotten more big players. Instead, you placed your faith in Von Miller. Then again, you had no other choice. Von Miller is your best guy. That was a good sign that the Chargers get Jared Cook. Yeah, I originally wanted him back in Tennessee, but the fact that Jared Cook replaced Hunter Henry, that was a smart call by the Chargers. But here comes the problem. Jared Cook is not exactly ready at this rate. Jared Cook is set to expire at some time, so you're gonna need a tight end. And if I were the Los Angeles Chargers, I think about trading up for Kyle Pitts. Yeah, I would think about trading up for Kyle Pitts in the draft because Jared Cook, he's not exactly going to be. He is old and he's not going to last long. Believe me. Take it from a Tennessee Titans fan. Jared Cook's time is running out. To all you Chargers fans, pray that Kyle Pitts drops or at least get a trade with the top teams. I mean, seriously. What you meant? Well, it's quite simple, Richard. We talked about a lot. Darius was just bringing up that the Chargers made a good signing, Jared Cook, and I was just saying that they should trade up for Kyle Pitts because Jared Cook is not time is almost running out. Yeah, Jared Cook's time is almost running out. So unless they could get another tight end in free agency, I think they should think about trading up for Kyle Pitts. But the question is, who's going to be willing to trade up for Kyle Pitts? You're cutting out. Is my connection bad? Yes. Yes, Richard, I'm afraid so. It's your connection, because otherwise my screen would have popped up. Richard Golsenfroat. Yeah, Richard Golsenfroat. I'm afraid. I think it's your connection. I thought Jared Cook was going to sign with the Vikings. I thought he was going to sign with the Titans. Go back to his old team. I mean, seriously. I thought he was going to go back to his former team. I mean, seriously. I thought he was going to finish his career in Tennessee, but no. I mean, seriously. Tennessee was his home. We had Todd Downing, his tight end coach, as our offensive coordinator. I mean, seriously. I thought with Todd Downing, we would get... I thought with Todd Downing, we would at least get back Jared Cook or get Kyle Rudolph. But no. No. It takes more than connections to get big names. I mean, seriously. And the fact that Jared Cook went to the Chargers and Kyle Rudolph signed with the Giants, that is proof. I mean, seriously. What the heck is going on with this country? This NFL season. I mean, seriously. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a tough. Boy, this is going to be a tough call to make during this NFL season. I mean, seriously. I think the Texans should trade Deshaun Watson. I think so too, because this is obviously a wait. Because you can't just say that a guy who wants to sign to another team is going to be forced to play. I mean, seriously, he would rather sit this one out. This is obviously one hell of a problem. I mean, seriously. And plus, don't forget, they got Tyrod Taylor as backup QB. So if Deshaun Watson does cut off, Tyrod Taylor is the next guy in line. Which, by the way, doesn't sound like a smart option, but I don't think I don't think Tyrod Taylor is gonna work out for the Texans. But then again, they don't have a choice. They do not have a choice. Unless, of course, they draft in the third round, I think. That's their own. That's their fault for trusting Bill O'Brien. Luckily, Laramie Tunsil restructured his contract today, so they get more money out of it. At least that's the only thing that matters. Laramie Tunsil was the one that restructured his contract today. Should the Vikings give away Kirk Cousins? Hell no. Who are you going to get as a quarterback with Kirk Cousins gone? I mean, seriously, hell no. That is That is definitely out of the question. I don't think Kirk Cousins should be traded, period. At least not until you can come up with a better QB. Than that. I mean, seriously. Because I'm pretty certain that the Vikings are not in the running for Deshaun Watson. I mean, seriously, no way in hell. Also, let's play in a little fun fact. Tennessee Titans, they're already locking in their names for Indianapolis Colts wide receiver T.Y. Hilton and New England Patriots wide receiver Danny Amendola. If it comes down to T.Y. Hilton and Danny Amendola, which of these receivers Tennessee Titans are at the high percentage chances of getting? Either T.Y. Hilton or Danny Amendola. I mean, seriously, if it came down to T.Y. Hilton or Danny Amendola, which of these receivers is most likely to end up with Tennessee Titans the most? Now, there are some good points and some bad points. T.Y. Hilton, he's been in the AFC South for a long time with the Indianapolis Colts. Only problem is he's old, but here's the thing. They could go 2 wide receivers and get T.Y. Hilton. I mean, seriously, there is a chance they can go 2 wide receivers and get T.Y. Hilton. Trade one and then train one and get ready. Danny Amendola worked with the Patriots for a long time, but we don't know if Danny Amendola is going to be really. T.Y. Hilton is better, and he is pretty good still. Santiago Babadilla Ortez. Sorry if somehow I mispronounced your name. But still. But you do make a good point. T.Y. Hilton is better, and he's pretty good still. Still, he's pretty old. And believe me, I want T.Y. Hilton as a Tennessee Titan. It was one of my predictions. And if T.Y. Hilton does become a Tennessee Titan, I'm going to be branded a psychic. Because I predicted Bud Dupree to be with Tennessee. I predicted Janoris Jenkins to be with Tennessee. Both of which came true. I mean, seriously. If a third prediction of mine came true, it's going to be branded a psychic. I mean, seriously. One more prediction right, and I'm branded a psychic. I mean, seriously. Where should Deshaun Jackson sign? Darius, that is a good question. Where should Deshaun Jackson sign? This is a tough call. I think he should go back to Tampa Bay because the Buccaneers, they are most likely the most logical candidate. They got Tom Brady ready to go. I think Deshaun Jackson should finish his career in Tampa Bay. That could be a great option, especially if Antonio Brown doesn't come back. If Antonio Brown doesn't come back, Deshaun Jackson should finish his career in Tampa Bay. And it's gonna be one heck of a year, believe me. The Buccaneers, they're the defending Super Bowl champs. And who knows who they're going to play first? My money's on Buffalo. I mean, seriously, my money was on Buffalo Bills being on the road week 1, no matter who won the Super Bowl, because the Bills play both the Chiefs and the Buccaneers on the road. So yeah, most logically, Buffalo Bills start week 1 on the road. Should the Eagles trade Zach Ertz? It is a good question. Zach Ertz, do they really need to trade him? $8.5 million cap space. I think if the Philadelphia Eagles were the winners of the Adoree Jackson sweepstakes, I'm going to say yes. Because they're going to need all the money they can get if they're in the running for Adoree Jackson. We already know a few teams that are interested in Zach Ertz. Indianapolis Colts, who, by the way, should have took it in with the Carson Wentz thing. Seattle Seahawks. That's dead now that Gerald Everett is gone. Chicago Bears? Who knows? Or maybe Minnesota Vikings could be in the mix after losing Kyle Rudolph. I mean, seriously. Minnesota Vikings, they could be in the run. They could definitely be in the run. All right, people, I'm ready to call it a night. I hope to see you all next time.